Hello, I'm your host, Christopher Gajewski. Let's get naked about mental health. I just thought I would make a short introductory video discussing a couple things that you'll come across in the podcast often, and a couple things about the podcast. And of course, that went to sleep on me at just the perfect time. I typically do the podcast off of a script. I don't do video, although I'm trying to incorporate more video and more off script stuff. I'm a PWS, a person who stutters. So it helps to read off of a script. But I'm winging this, and let's just see how it goes. The cap. The cap is just a part of me. It became something I don't know how, where, why, but I started wearing it about 20 years ago, and now most of my family, including close family members, don't recognize me when I'm not wearing it. So thank you, Donegal Caps of Ireland. But I do have a full head of hair. A lot of people think that I'm going bald, and that's why I always wear it. Nah, I just like it. Something that you'll hear a lot, and there's a whole episode on it, is aloha. The episode deeper into aloha, it talks about the concept of aloha. It means a lot more than hello and goodbye in Hawaiian. It's based upon 5 principles. I'm not reading off of a script, and I can't remember quite what they all are at this point in time, but I know that mercy, compassion, and peace are 3 of them. Combined, they mean breath of life or breath of the universe. That's why Hawaii is called the Aloha State. And if you're there, you'll see a lot of things like live aloha, drive aloha. Aloha is a part of what they are. It's a state of being. So I like to offer everyone aloha at the end of each episode. I'm trying to offer it to myself, especially the whole mercy part, but I'm having a tough time with that. And I get into that in the episode too. I get into that in episodes as well. But how the whole podcast came about is a few years back, I decided to kill myself. Yeah, I had a really good plan. I was doing well in life. Had everything that you, from the outside looking in, I had a really good life. But the depression started to eat me up again. I tell people that I'm diagnosed with what I call the trifecta. Major depression, PTSD, and anxiety disorder. And I had just had enough. I was just exhausted mentally, emotionally. I was just drained and empty. So I put this really good plan into motion. I sold my business. With the funds that I got from it, I was going to go on one final adventure through Europe, then find some nice quiet beach to end my life. It was a good plan. I mean, I got rid of everything. I got rid of everything in my house, and with the house planning on being sold while I was gone, I got rid of everything in the house. So I'm sitting there waiting for the first trip that was supposed to happen in April of 2020. I was going to join family in Poland and then just wander off on my own at that point. So I'm sitting in an empty house, completely empty house. I had a TV and a sofa and a couple other things. And then, as you can imagine, the pandemic hit and screwed up everything. So instead of going on some exciting adventure through Europe, I started looking for toilet paper. And then I started writing again and reaching out to people, checking up on other people, because as my one friend, a psychiatrist, said, when you're going through an event like this, you really need to talk to people like us because we're screwed up. We're good at this stuff. And so I started to reach out. I became a scavenger, a bootlegger, pretty much did everything and anything that I could help other people with. And then we're in lockdown, went out. And then Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania, in all of his wisdom and glory, made Pennsylvania the only state where you couldn't buy and sell a house. So I was really screwed. But that restriction was finally lifted, and I took the first offer, not the smartest thing that I've ever did, but I didn't need it anyway. I was planning on killing myself. And so I packed up my car, and instead of going to Europe, I set off across America. I did write a book about it. All 50 states, close to 40,000 miles, 152 days on the road, and lots and lots and lots of coffee. I have a thing for coffee. I have a good thing. I have a thing for good coffee. Kona coffee is my favorite. But anyway, so I'm out there wandering, and I found something. It wasn't hope. I did not find hope, but I found pieces that were missing, and I found a pathway that might lead me to hope. So after my adventure, instead of following through with the plan, I settled down in Texas, and that's when things really got ugly. The depression, as I knew, because when you're running, it's so much easier to deal with the depression when you're on the road. And I talk about this in the book. When you're on the road and all five senses are alive and being constantly stimulated, it's easy to escape the depression. When I got to Texas and settled down and finally started working, it just crushed me. I've always said that suicidal thoughts are like a swarm of gnats to me on a summer evening. Twice in my life now, the swarm of gnats have become a swarm of hornets. Last time was in Texas, and I'm fending them off with everything that I got. But I managed, got by, got through it, finished my book, and then I was interviewed about the book on another podcast, Leo Flowers, Before You Kill Yourself. And I thought we were going to discuss my book, but we had talked about things. And the name of his podcast is Before You Kill Yourself. What the hell did I think was going to happen? He knew the story behind the book. He knew about the plan for suicide. So I not walk into his office. I metaphorically walk into his office because it was all done through Zoom. He shakes my hand, he gets me comfortable because he understands about the speech impediment. And the next thing I know, he's stripping me down and throwing me into the deep end of the pool. And he jumps in with me and we start doing laps and we start discussing suicide and depression and boundaries or lack thereof and other mental health issues. It really inspired me because I felt that I could do something. A large part of why I wanted to kill myself is because I had lost purpose in my life. I had lost any joy in anything. So I felt that starting a podcast was a way that I could reach out to people. I do tell people in my podcast, and I'm very upfront about this, I am not a doctor, I am not a therapist, I am not a psychiatrist, I am not in any profession that ends in ist. I'm just a guy who's been there. So I just thought that I could be an authentic voice. Because I know that depression especially is so misunderstood. It's misunderstood by people who have it. It's even more misunderstood by our loved ones. Most people don't understand me because they compare, and I talk about this in a podcast, so I'm going to try to get through this a little bit quicker. They try to compare my depression with what they understand as depression. And as deep as you can go, the death of a loved one, which I've suffered, it's not like that. And I talk about that. I talk about suicide. I talk about depression. I talk about ways I'm dealing with things and how I'm finding hope. But a big thing is just that I just want to tell people that I'm there. I understand. And I'm trying to give people tools to explain it to their loved ones. I have a website, as you can see, which I'll post somewhere or another when I make the video. And you can check that out. But so I just wanted to say hello, welcome people on board. You're welcome to follow along. I'll be doing this weekly. I tend to record late on Monday night and post first thing on Tuesday. And as I said, it's mostly just a podcast. There's not going to be too many videos at first, but I'm looking into doing more video work, more guest work, and that's about it. So thanks for joining me here, and aloha.